Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, everybody. Welcome to this 33rd Piano Hangout, a stream. I still have some cereal between my molars. We'll try to mask my awful mouth noises. Welcome, Sharkmon. Explosive Grape. Yeah, it's been a while. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Aspiring Hero Games, Coffee and Cheese Cast. Oh yeah, there's coffee, there's no cheese just yet. Cheese is something that you're going to have to provide yourselves. Catnap's Art, hi. Komarebi, Rachel, The Beyblade Channel, hi. Joris van der Brande, goedemiddag. Hopelijk heb jij een fijne Koningsdag, Joris. Random Citizen, it's been a while too for you. Grix, GD Animations, Infinity. Hi hi. Ogib, Chicken Nugget. Silicate, hi hi. Oh, sorry Joris. Ach, je mist niet veel. So for anybody who's new here, there's quite a few new people on the channel, thanks to the trailer 3 arrangement from 2 weeks ago. This is a improvisation-based stream, so I will be chatting a bit with you all. We're playing some piano. I will be taking requests, and if at all possible, I will try to do my best. But because it's improvisational and I haven't practiced this stuff beforehand, there will be a lot of, let's say, creativity in the playing. Good morning, Aaron. Hi, Willer. I may or may not be singing a chicken cuckoo version of the trailer today. Let's see, I'm getting a warning about my stream bitrate being too high. Let's see. It's all looking well for you folks? And sounding well? It's looking alright. I didn't change any settings. I may have set my resolution too high. Oh yeah, I've done something weird with my resolution. Just a second. I'm gonna change my resolution back. Yeah, now the settings are exactly as they should be. So you shouldn't be having any weirdness now. Yeah, so how about your thoughts on the coming 2 weeks? Any plans how to soften the waiting? Personally, I'll be going on holidays tomorrow, so that's why I'm streaming today instead of tomorrow. And that will soften the wait a bit. I'm going on holidays with my parents, my brother and sister, and my son. So it's going to be hysterical, probably in the positive sense of the word. And then when we come back from vacation, it's just 1 week until Tears of the Kingdom, and maybe reviews will have already hit. Alexander Saxful says, found the channel because of trailer 3. Glad to have you. We're going to play some parasailing soon, Random Citizen, to celebrate your return. Hey, Cody Baker, welcome. Hope you have a good trip. Yeah, I watched some previews. It's kind of the kind of embargo where every preview kind of looks and reads very similar to each other. So the preview restrictions were quite strict as far as I've heard. So they were focusing on the building aspects and some exploration and some combat, but there's no story in there, or they didn't get to explore a big chunk of Hyrule. So it's all it's not that spoilery, of course, depending on your definition of a spoiler. looking at these mechanics in action could already be a little bit spoilery for you personally. Hey, Zora Rabbit, I just started, yeah. I'm going to Texel, which is a small island here in the Netherlands. It has very, like, deep beaches, which is nice, but it's not warm enough to really start swimming in the sea. My father and my son intend to both go into the cold water, though, so I will be cheering them on from the from the beach. Komorebi is going to kill the coming 2 weeks by listening to my Zelda covers. There's a lot of them, Komorebi. I hope they won't be driving you too mad from all the repeating, because I don't have 2 weeks of material. Hi, Altar. Penthoven, good evening. Hey, Mr. Blue64. Are there mid-roll commercials in this? Because that's not something I want. Yoris, are you getting commercials in the stream? Because if so, I'm going to disable them, because that is not... Oh, shucks, I just did. No, I just added an advert, I'm so sorry. Okay, that's not good. How can I change that? It's a little bit messy today, folks, I'm sorry. Let's see... Pompidom, inkomsten genereren. Huh. Okay, so there should be ads just at the start of the stream, but not mid-rolls. Have deselected mid-rolls. So if you're getting commercials in the middle of the stream, please let me know and I will... yeah. I will take a look again. Mid-roll adverts are not my thing. I'd always try to disable them on my videos and streams. Yeah, you probably just got an ad because I tried to see my monetization settings and accidentally clicked the insert ad button because it's got a $sign. But I also checked my settings after that and there shouldn't be mid-roll adverts in here. After the one I just accidentally did, I'm sorry. Was not my intention. Anyways, let's play some piano, shall we then? There's only one way we can start this stream. Yeah. Opa. That was nice. I'm kind of wondering how many people got my Breath of the Wild combat music reference in the improvisation for the main theme video I uploaded this week. So in the improvisation I go like... this is of course a combat music reference. And then I try to flesh that rhythm out, but it's kind of hard. I always have the tendency to make my life harder rhythmically. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yup. I am kind of trying to get in the groove. And my setup was a little bit changed, so I have to see where my microphone should stand and stuff like that. Hi, Quake. Yeah, I got the collector's edition quite soon after it was announced from a little web shop in the Netherlands. Just a second. Because I love Breath of the Wild so much that I'm kind of buying the Tears of the Kingdom collection. Out of love for Breath of the Wild. And also out of trust that Tears of the Kingdom will probably be very cool. And my son has had a lot of fun drawing from the... drawing stuff from the Creating a Champion art book. And I was like, the art book in the collector's edition is probably not that comprehensive, but if there's stuff in there that he feels inspired by to draw more himself, then that's super cool. I also really like steel cases. I still have a steel case from the original BioShock somewhere on the attic. Just think it looks fancy, and the rest is just bonus to me. So yeah, but it can be hard to buy, probably. I did not get the OLED myself. I see someone in the chat got the OLED, but I still have a launch OLED from 2021. I'm very happy with that, and I still think the neon color scheme is the prettiest one. Neon red and neon blue. Yeah, I can understand that, Quake. And for me, this is also part of my work, so getting the collector's edition for me kind of feels correct. Let's see, there was a suggestion in the chat. Let me see if I can play that. I think that's an ending. I've seen talk about the courage theme, but I'm not sure what the courage theme is. Is that the part of the Zelda main theme? Thank you, Mitzi, for the £2 super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, for the people who haven't seen a lot of streams yet, one of the things I love to do is to start with a single piece and then, based on what the chat is suggesting, try to segue into songs that are in the chat and try to make a medley while we go. So, yeah, suggestions are very, very welcome. It's part of the Twilight Princess's main theme. Okay, take a look. I'll take a look, yeah. There was a question. Of course you can ask questions in the chat. There's no problem at all. I try to balance out talking and pianoing. I try to do more pianoing than talking, usually. So I may not answer all questions. But yeah, I've been playing piano since I was 9. And I've been playing keyboard since I was 7. And now I'm 34. So you do the math. I had classical lessons until I became 18, and then I went to the conservatory to do music education, to study music education, and I got a combined course of classical piano and some jazz there, but jazz didn't really click for me until much later. Hey, Menduino, thanks for the super chat. Menduino says, been a while since I caught up. How are you, Mr. Tim? I'm doing well. I'm chill. There's finally some sunshine here. We haven't had the greatest spring yet. So that's some sunshine is always good for my mental health. I know the gamer in me is very relaxed and confident in Tears of the Kingdom. But the content creator in me is quite nervous actually, because the channel has been doing bonkers ever since the third trailer, and actually it kind of needed a big lift to make it worthwhile, and it has needed a big lift for a few years now. So as a content creator, I'm a little bit nervous, and I hope that this lift that I've been enjoying is something that can lead to some steady, increased listeners, so to say. And the musician in me is super hyped. Like a Zelda soundtrack is always a masterclass from some of the greatest composers in the games industry. So the Breath of the Wild soundtrack, the Link Between Worlds soundtrack, and the Skyward Sword soundtrack are 3 of my absolute favorites. So yeah, I've heard some of the new combat music. I liked it. It was a little bit more fully orchestrated, so it had a little bit more meat in its bones. It wasn't as empty and sparse as the Breath of the Wild stuff, which seems to kind of go for the game as a whole. Lou3D says, you literally had the Tears of the Kingdom trailer music like a day after it came out. Yeah, that was kind of a tradition that I started in 2017 when the story trailer released from Breath of the Wild. And I was like a big trailers. I wanted to do the big trailers on the day or the next day. It was kind of a mad dash to get that finished, because that day we had nice weather, so I was also chilling in the garden a lot. I was like, it's gonna be fine. I'll make the arrangement kind of simple and not too difficult, and then I'll be able to record it, no problem. So I worked on it on and off that day, and also was just lying on the grass and stuff. And when push came to shove, apparently, even when I try to keep it simple, it still becomes a little bit difficult, especially some rhythms that I transcribed from the percussion in the original track. And a few folks had some feedback that they missed some counter melodies and stuff. That's usually stuff that I add on later in the arranging process, and that kind of like second melodies in the right hands and stuff that takes a lot of extra rehearsal time. So I was like, yeah, if I want to finish this, I can't polish it up to 100%, so 90% is going to have to do it. And I uploaded it like 15 minutes before the day was done, so that was fun. But I'm kind of glad with how it turned out. The story trailer from Breath of the Wild, I re-recorded that one because I wasn't glad with how that one turned out. But apparently in the past 6 years, I've learned some stuff about video editing, and I've improved as a pianist. So that's great. Hey Annabelle, welcome. I'm not very much into like jazz, but I do love it when like game music is my favorite like mode of music. So when there's something jazzy in game music, I usually love it in that context. For example, I've been playing Final Fantasy VI, the Pixel remaster lately, which has a completely re-orchestrated soundtrack, which is amazing. You know, Uematsu and Kondo and lots of Japanese game music composers, they kind of work from a jazz fusion background for some reason. So there's always jazz in there, which, you know, harmonically jazz is some super interesting stuff. And of course I also like playing improvisations. So that, yeah, there's some commonalities between myself and jazz. A jazz. Aspiring Hero Games says, I think the game is going to be fuller in the sense that a lot of the empty space that made Breath of the Wild so post-apocalyptic will be dotted with more enemy camps and such. Yeah, I think so as well. I think I've said that before on the stream, that Tears of the Kingdom looks like it's going to be the more energetic brother of Breath of the Wild. More exuberant on one side and also heavier on the other side. So a broader emotional spectrum. Lots of interesting contrasts coming up, I'm sure. Inky Ink asks, do you have much experience with some of the lesser-known Zelda game soundtracks? Phantom Hourglass was the first Zelda game I finished, so I kind of have a soft spot for that one as a game. But I'm not very much into like really obscure stuff. I have been doing some Minish Cap stuff before Tears of the Kingdom news started coming out more. I like that. I like some Link Between Worlds stuff, if you can call that lesser known. That's one of my favorite soundtracks. Evoire. Benthoven asks, I need to know what VST do you use for Erhu in your compositions? I'm using the... it depends, I've used a few. I can really recommend the Ember Tone Erhu. Like Ember Tone, that's what the company is called. It's not that expensive, it's got legato and portato and all stuff like that. I used that one on my most recent work. I do not know the Wand of Gamelon OST by heart. I do know the overall theme of Spirit Tracks. I even did a video earlier in the year. But I'm kind of getting behind on a lot of suggestions. I can't do all suggestions, but I am curious what the Courage theme sounds like. Courage, Twilight Princess. Let's see. I'm going to fill it with volume. Boink. Oh, it's not working because it's coming out of the wrong system. There we go. Okay, and then segue into the Zelda's theme, right? I don't know why I ended with a Final Fantasy VIII quote. Oh man, sometimes these mashups take a toll on my mind. Yeah, there was a little bit of Hilda's theme in there because I made the first, honest to goodness, Zelda's theme cover I made was a Zelda/Hilda crossover track. So that was kind of my glue into the kind of darker sounding Twilight Princess stuff. Dan says, Twilight Princess was the first time I started noticing the MIDI-ness of Zelda OSTs. I think Twilight Princess was the first like Zelda soundtrack that kind of started suffering on the onboard MIDI usage. I think Wind Waker did a great job kind of working around that in many tracks. But Twilight Princess, the music is very ambitious, so it kind of has problems with its ambition and realizing that. That's something that I'm hearing now with the Final Fantasy VI remaster. So if you toggle between the original Super Nintendo onboard MIDI and then the arrangements, and you hear kind of what the composer was implying, then you hear the enormous difference, the enormous technical constraints that people had to work in these days. I only know one track from Spirit Tracks. I was trying to segue into that, but I was still confused with the Twilight Princess one. It's in the same key. Same tempo as well. Maybe even the same composer, Toru Minegishi. Oh yeah, okay. I partly agree, Sly Fox, that the MIDI-ness of Twilight Princess gives it character. I think it works very well in the more relaxed tracks. So this one worked very well with MIDI, I think. Ilia's theme, Orden Village, stuff like that works very well. But then if they try to go big with it, then it kind of falls flat for me. But you know, tastes differ. Oh yeah, there was a banjo rhythm in that. That's kind of. Okay. Bam. Don't change anything. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Toru Minegishi is a very interesting composer. He did parts of Majora's Mask. He did Twilight Princess. And now he's the main Splatoon guy. Has been since the beginning of Splatoon. So yeah, the man's got range. I also think that Shiho Fuji is also a Splatoon lady. And she's also done some Zelda work. But oh, he also did Wind Waker. Yeah, Wind Waker is kind of a collaborative effort by a lot of folks. Shabloom. Minduino asks something. Do you ever fear Nintendo will suddenly want to wipe you from YouTube? Not per se. So the difference between me and a channel that uploads existing OSTs, because I think that's what you're referring to. You're referring to some of the big soundtrack uploading channels getting blown up every now and then. Difference is that I'm not uploading something that's not mine. So the stuff that I make is transformative. So I change so much about it. Yeah, I'm not particularly afraid of that. You know, YouTube is kind of a difficult platform in that regard because a company like Nintendo or Square or any one of those, you know, if I, for example, if I do a Squaresoft cover, what Squaresoft, I'm an old geezer, Square Enix. What Square Enix does is they have put their music into the Content ID system, which means if I make a cover, the system detects that it's a cover. And then we share in the revenue because the composition, the rights of the composition are at the side of Square Enix. The right of the recording and the arrangement are on my side. And they've decided that they will then allow the video to remain on YouTube, but they get a part of the income. It's kind of a compromise that YouTube has struck with parties because there was so much piracy on YouTube, and just, you know, deleting stuff from YouTube doesn't really work because then a lot of other stuff pops up and it gets re-uploaded. So what a lot of companies and record labels have done is they have turned YouTube into more or less a marketing channel for them. And Square Enix and a lot of other folks now use the Content ID system to also share in the income. Nintendo, as far as I have seen, does not make use of the Content ID system, even though they could. They could get a part of the income that comes from my videos because those are covers and they have the right to the composition. But they don't, and a part of that may be that if they put stuff like that into the Content ID system, then background music also gets claimed. So yeah, maybe that's not a trade-off that they have decided to make, because then your music will just sort of kind of peter out on the platform. And this is, you know, from their perspective, stuff that I do, but also folks like Monster Maze and Zeltic, it's all free promotion. Of course, on channels like Spotify and Apple Music, on those platforms, you have to get the rights to the compositions and you have to share in the income to upload there. And there's just channels to do that. But on YouTube, those channels don't exist. So yeah, I'm not very nervous. I saw a great video recently about the entire, like that content creator that decided to make he paid people to make a mod and then his channel had problems. I think that may also be what you're referring to. There's a great video on that by channel called Moon Channel. It's a very relaxed, I think it's a lawyer, and he goes through what the rights of companies like Nintendo are and why they leave some stuff up and remove other stuff. You should really check it out. It's an excellent video. The thumbnail is kind of annoying, that's why I didn't click it initially, but it's an excellent video, and I really recommend watching that. Point Crow, yeah, Point Crow. Didn't know that channel because I live under a rock and I'm a boomer. I'm a boomer. Free doo doo dee doo doo doo. Dee 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 dee. So yeah, the point is that Nintendo probably is in their right to remove a whole lot of Nintendo related stuff from YouTube. But they only remove stuff that they deem to be dangerous to their image or bottom line, or promotes piracy, or, you know, stuff like that. You've got a busy day, Infinity. All right, let me give the final trailer a try. Hey, Sacrifice 12 has an interesting question. If there are going to be dungeons, what do you think the music will sound like? More ambient like the overworld, or dungeon theme like in other games? You know, aesthetically, I think the Divine Beasts were not that interesting, but musically, I think they had it nailed, in my opinion. So assuming they still have these kind of phased dungeons with multiple objectives that you can accomplish in a non-linear order, I wouldn't mind if they did the same thing as they did with the Divine Beasts. The development per terminal, I think that was super interesting. So I don't really have many wishes on that regard. Excuse me, except for more what they did. The thing that I'm at this point, there's one remaining thing that I'm kind of trepidatious about, if that's the right word, and that is shrines. Because the music in the Divine Beasts was excellent, but the music in the shrines, apparently it was dynamic. It could dynamically select between multiple variants, but it sounded very much alike, and it always looked alike. So hoping that they have less shrines with a different architecture, or they have different kinds of shrines with different architectures, or they have like stuff, just some more variety. Frooby-doo, frooby-doo, frooby-poopy-dooby-doo, frooby-poopy-doo. What I did like from the shrines is that if you didn't click with a particular shrine, you could just walk out and do another one. Because lots of older Zelda games, sometimes you have, I have dungeons that I just don't really like, but you have to finish them. And with shrines, you didn't have to. So that was very cool. Yeah, you have those like stones with the green spirals. Still not sure if that is a shrine or just a fast travel point, or whatevs. Maybe they have incorporated shrine-like puzzles in the overworld more, because that's what the Sky Islands and also caves allow you to. They allow the developers to restrict the player's movement so they can create more bespoke challenges, so to speak. So maybe they don't need shrines anymore in that sense. There's more like Korok puzzles XL, like bigger puzzles that you have to solve in an overworld. That could also be interesting. I'm not particularly enthused about Koroks being back, but yeah, you know, there's a difference between watching this footage and looking for the new stuff, and then playing the game and experiencing it as a holistic, as a whole, so to speak. And in that sense, if it fits in that holistic vision of the game, then it's probably fine. But I like new stuff. And no loading screens, please. Yeah, that would be great if they, because the engine is obviously able to stream lots of stuff in without loading screens. But it kind of depends on how the game was developed, if they have these segmented areas in the in the shrines. So segmented between the overworld and the shrines. But I think that was kind of an arbitrary distinction. I think if they kept in mind that the shrines are part of the overall world space, then technically it's very possible that loading times are gone, except for fast travel and stuff like that. We'll see. Yeah, I think it's more than DLC at this point. I think that's quite clear. Also, it seems like some stuff has also been removed, like the Sheikah Slate doesn't, the same abilities aren't in the game anymore. And with DLC, you usually don't remove stuff. Yeah. All right, I'm going to try to play the official trailer, but it's going to be rough because I haven't played this since I recorded it. Oh, whoopsie, I'm sorry. Jongens, echt. I suck at reading sheet music. Okay, one more time. This time I'm gonna fix all my mistakes and make it sound like it's supposed to sound like that way. state. Okay, give me 30 more minutes and then I can play it without mistakes. I love the reenactment of the trailer text in the chat. Oh, man. Have a good one, Minduino. Thanks for listening. Hi, yup. I especially love the trumpets going. That's maybe one of my favorite parts in the arrangements. That was a very difficult part. That final part has some rhythmical stuff going on that I had a lot of trouble with. There were a few very strict listeners in the comments that were kind of relentlessly critiquing my piano technique. You know, and I don't blame them. As I've said before, I'm not a virtuoso. But one of the things that I was kind of happy with is that the melody at a certain point goes in triplets. Da 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 da. And then the left hand has a funky rhythm that I transcribed from the drums. And then the triplets over that. That was quite a challenge. Whatever. It made it onto the recording, and that's what matters. Thank you, Kamarebi. I'm very happy with my cozy community as well. It's the main reason why I stream it all, to chat with you, everyone. There was an interesting question about sheet music. Psychonic Joe says, I hear that playing sheet music is not 100% reading, but it's more like guidance. Is that true? I'm not the best person to ask because I kind of suck at sheet music, to be honest. A lot of people... I had a lady in my studies. She was a violinist. And she could play prima vista, so without having practiced sheet music on the piano better than I could, simply because I do not have a talent for reading sheet music at all. But for me, if I have studied something, at the start it's reading every note and then getting it into my system, and then later on it's more guidance, that I take a snapshot of the part that I'm in just to remind me, hey, what was it like again? And then I start playing. So from that sense, you can say that it's more guidance than anything else. But I prefer playing not from sheet music at all. For me, it's always a hurdle. I do write my own sheet music. Because a lot of people on my channel come to my channel to play these pieces and to learn these pieces themselves. And either it's from the Falling Blocks or it's from the sheet music. But as you've noticed, if I do not write it down on sheet music, it's going to be different every time I play it. And that's not very practical if I want to have a channel that teaches people stuff. So that's why I still use sheet music. And I think a lot of you are better, like the pianists in the chat. A lot of you are much better at reading sheet music than I probably am. But I don't have to read it. All I have to do is write it down. And usually I let Logic, I can record it and then export it into sheet music. And I'll primarily have to clean it up. The polyrhythms in this arrangement are kind of crazy. I already simplified some of it because the drums are doing all kinds of syncopated stuff. But hey, Exomente, welcome. I was missing some stuff and I don't blah 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 blah. Torben says, "Hey Tim, listen. Who do you think that other woman holding the same tear as Zelda at the last trailer was?" It's probably another Zelda. I think it's another Zelda. Ancient Zelda with extra pointy ears. That's my theory. But at this point, we're going to see soon enough. So it's probably not Zelda from 10,000 years ago, because 10,000 years ago, like that's depicted in Breath of the Wild on the mural or the tapestry. 10,000 years ago, they already had Calamity Ganon. So the fact that we have Ganondorf problems in this implies that it's even before 10,000 years ago. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, playing piano on my piano, playing piano on my piano. The Brick Beat asks, favorite Zelda game, Tim? Bomb. So my top three, my top two. No, I know, actually. Number 3 best Zelda game ever made. According to this outlet here. It's Breath of the Wild, obviously. Breath of the Wild is kind of the Zelda game that I had hoped would exist like 10 years earlier. Of course, that may not have been possible from a technological point of view. To take the openness of a Morrowind or an Oblivion, but to make it good. Then, of course, it took Skyrim's incredible commercial success and the added power of a new system for them to really go open. Number 2 is Link Between Worlds, because it controls so incredibly well, and it has also has a little bit of a freedom. And I think number 3 is probably Skyward Sword, for very different reasons compared to the other two, because it just feels so good to play. So from that sense, you can say it's comparable to Link Between Worlds, but it's very linear. But it just feels so incredibly good to play, and the motion controls are annoying, but at the same time they're also kind of exciting. So yeah. The dungeons are incredibly good there. The story is not very good, but you can skip it. So dungeons, music, atmosphere, it's very good in Skyward Sword. Thanks, Torben. Majora's Mask never really clicked for me. I have a 3DS. Last year I bought a 3DS to play Majora's Mask 3D Link Between Worlds again, and because I previously played that on a system that I then sold, and Ocarina of Time 3D, and I really tried with Majora's Mask. I really liked it with the camera control, but it's just a little bit too depressing for me. Honestly, stressful and depressing. I can see why people like it though. It's a very particular kind of mood. Link Between Worlds is so incredibly good. It's crazy. It also has, I think, the best Zelda story, because it's very concise, but it still has something to say. It has something to say. It says it very clearly. It says it very concisely. Doesn't get in the way of the gameplay. Gives some context to make the game world feel substantial. Yeah, it's perfect. See you later, Renan Citizen. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so let's play some more. Let's play some more piano, and then I'm going to call it a day quite soon as well. Jam, jam, jam. 1 second. I'm back. Guess who's back? Back again. Timmy's back. Tell your friends. The first Zelda game I finished was Phantom Hourglass, like I said. Maybe because it was a 2D Zelda. I think the older Zeldas I clicked with 2D more than with 3D. Until Breath of the Wild. Tim Shady. Oh yeah. Ba ba ba. Alright, so let's play some music. Let's play some music. There was a very beautiful town music in Final Fantasy VI with a low whistle. And how did it go again? See you later, Benthoven. It's too recent. I don't have it memorized yet. Peaches, 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 peaches. I love you. Yeah. Peaches, 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 peaches. Peaches. Oh, yeah. It's so good. Okay, there we go. Spooky time. Spooky. It's really sunny here in Cheeseland, so it's not really spooky time outside, but I do like me some spooky times at times. Spooky. Anyways, wow, lots of listeners. Welcome, everybody. This is the improvisation-based piano hangout stream where I will be taking suggestions and play them to the best of my abilities. I'll be playing just a little bit more before I'm heading off. Oh yeah. You know, maybe this is as good a time as any to do some Patreon shoutouts because this channel is supported by my patrons. And by my Spotify, Apple Music listeners, and by you all. And some of my patrons donate 10 euros or more a month, and they get a shout out in all my videos. You might have seen them here and there, so I'm going to shout them out here while I play my usual cheesy shouting out music. I'm currently on the site, checking out. There were some new people, a few of those you might recognize. So a new patron of mine today on the podcast is Lord Gannon. Thank you, Lord Gannon. Is Lord your first name or is Gannon your first name? It does sound a little bit familiar though. Thank you, Lord Gannon. Please don't kill me. Rachel, thank you so much. Nelson, Flashing Fire, Monoman, Mandyline, who was just in the chat, Masatoshi, HSPER, and I'm still going to pronounce your name like that if you don't mind, and else just let me know, right? Clown Pierce, Random Citizen, Aspiring Hero Games also in the chat. Ooh yeah, NS, lots of folk, lots of Patreon folk in the chat today. Nice to see. George R, Rio S, Patrick, and Joshua. Thank you all so much, and also to all my other patrons. Keeping this little channel of mine worthwhile. And of course, you all in the chat or in the comment sections. Very happy to be of service to you all. Lord Gannon taking time out of his busy PR schedule, according to Aspiring Hero Games. Slatchin says, the song you played there sounds familiar. What was that? I think it's a Joe Jackson song. Pretty women are walking with gorillas down my street. I was just playing that as a sound check at the start of a stream at a certain point, and then people said, hey, this is like podcasting music. So then I started doing an awful podcast voice. An awful podcasting voice. So I'm going to send you off with a final track. Yeah, I got Gannon on my side. I'm not sure. Not sure if I'm on the right side. This may be the final stream before the game releases even. Oh my god. Draco Slayer Games says, you topped 100 viewers. That's the most I've seen so far. Amazing job. Thanks so much, Draco Slayer Games. Maybe I hit 100 earlier during a watch-along stream. But still, for a regular piano hangout, glad to have so many people tuning in. The funny thing is, there was a stretch earlier in the stream where there weren't lots of suggestions, and then I just go by my own stream of consciousness, and I'm combining Final Fantasy and Zelda stuff, and now there's a metal song in my head that I'm playing. Yeah, it's a mess. Let's end with let's at least start with the Champions Ballad. See you later, Inky Ink. Champions Ballad. Let's think. I always confuse that one with Ravioli's theme. Oh yeah. They also call me the Cheese Master. Hey, Robbie. Welcome, you just joined during the final moments of the stream. I did play Ballad of the Goddess earlier in the stream. I do love me some Fi. By the way, something that I mentioned that I noticed, the reversed vocals in all this Tears of the Kingdom material, they do sound a lot like Fi, don't they? Makes sense as well. I haven't heard that spoken of very much. So maybe just to honor her, we can do that one. think that's an ending. Let's call that an ending. You're welcome, Robbie. Nice. That was a lovely little chill thing. I'm playing on a Nord Grand, someone else. Ah, thanks for stopping by again, Draco Slayer. So next week I won't be doing much. I'm half of the mind to bring along some working stuff to maybe get an orchestral video out somewhere before release, but I can't promise anything. And then after I return on that Friday, it's release day. So not sure what I'm gonna do on release day just yet. Maybe streaming a little bit, unpacking. Maybe I'll do an unboxing if the collector's edition arrives in time. Maybe we can do a waiting for the postman. Tim's waiting for the postman stream. That could be fun. We'll see it. Yeah. Yep. I think I'm calling it a day. Yes, Rachel, I do have 2 cams at the same time. I can answer that question. So there's a single camera besides my screen. And there's one on a desk like up and in front of me. And then I correct that in OBS. So OBS, maybe I can show that. So it looks like the piano is straight above my, the camera is straight above my piano, but that's not the case. I have it perspective corrected. Actually, it looks like this. So it's somewhere, somewhere above the, on my desk, and I have to correct the perspective to make it look like it's straight up. Immersion broken. It's all editing, everybody. I'm not even playing the piano. It's my twin brother who's playing the piano. He has the same clothing, and he can move his hands at exactly the same time as I can. I don't even know how to do it. Anyways, thanks so much for stopping by, everybody. Have a great weekend, and yeah, we're so close to release. Looking forward to the reviews, and then to lots of piano hangouting with you all. I'm making arrangements and all this stuff. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.